The bar was dimly lit, tucked away on a quiet street in a town that had long stopped caring who walked in or out. Neon signs buzzed faintly above the windows, the words Rusty Spur glowing red against the dark sky. It was a local haunt, a place where regulars came to forget their troubles and outsiders rarely felt welcome. That night, the air inside was thick with cigarette smoke and tension pool balls clacked in the corner, and country rock played low from a dusty jukebox. Keanu Reeves had slipped in quietly, wearing a weathered black hoodie, jeans, and worn leather boots. He wasn't there to be recognized. He was there because it was the kind of place no one expected to see a Hollywood star, a place where he could sit alone, enjoy a bourbon, and disappear. He nodded politely to the bartender, who didn't recognize him, and took a stool near the far end of the counter. A few heads turned, not in recognition, but with suspicion. He didn't look like trouble, but he didn't look like he belonged either. In the booth nearest the entrance, four bikers sat slouched in cracked leather jackets, reeking of oil and cheap liquor. Their laughter was loud, bordering on obnoxious. As they tossed back shots and bragged about fights they claimed to have won. Their leader, a thick tattooed man named Rig, was the kind who got mean when he drank, especially when someone ignored him. He caught sight of Keanu, hunched over his drink, quiet and calm. There was something to glean about him, too composed. Rig didn't like it. "Hey," Rig shouted over the bar. "You lost, old man." Keanu didn't respond at first. He took a slow sip, his eyes staying on the wood grain of the bar. His silence irritated Rig. "I'm talking to you, pretty boy," he said again, louder this time. "This ain't no coffee shop in LA. Hear me?" Keanu turned his head slightly, giving him a look that was neither confrontational nor afraid. "I hear you," he said, voice calm. Rig sneered. "You hear me, but you're still sitting there like you own the place." He stood up, stumbling slightly, and swaggered toward Keanu, followed by his three goonstank, Mace, and Slim. All of them were built like they were carved out of scrap metal and bad intentions. The bartender, an old man with a tired face, muttered, "Let it go, Rig, he ain't bothering no one." "Shut up, Jack," Rig snapped. "This guy thinks he's better than us, sipping his drink like he's royalty." Keanu looked up, finally, eyes locked on Rig. "I don't want trouble." "Too late," said Mace, slapping his chain against his palm like a schoolyard. "Bully, you already found it. Stand up," Rig growled, poking Keanu in the chest. "Let's see what kind of man you really are." Keanu took one more sip of his bourbon and slowly stood. He wasn't tall by action hero standards, but something in his posture made the room suddenly still. His face showed no fear, only patience. Rig grinned. "You got a death wish, stranger." "No," Keanu said quietly, almost like he was talking to himself, "but I've buried men who thought I did." The bikers laughed, but there was an unease in their laughter now. Something in his tone cut through them like a knife. "I'm walking out that door," Keanu said, motioning to the exit. "And you're going to let me?" "Oh, is that so?" Rig snarled, grabbing Keanu's hoodie and yanking it down off his shoulder. "You think you can talk big and walk away?" It happened so fast that no one saw the transition. One moment, Keanu was standing still. The next, Rig's arm was twisted behind his back, his face slammed into the bar with enough force to knock a bottle off the shelf. The other three lunged forward, but Keanu moved with impossible precision, ducking a punch from Mace, shoving him into tank, then spinning, to knock Slim's legs out from under him. Each motion was fluid, controlled, and devastating. The bar erupted in chaos. Chairs toppled, patrons scattered. Rig screamed as his wrist cracked under Keanu's grip. Keanu let him drop to the ground, where he curled in agony, swearing violently. Tank managed to grab a pool cue and swing it like a bat. Keanu caught it mid-air, twisted it from his hands, and jabbed it into Tank's ribs. The man crumpled to the floor, gasping for air. Mace pulled out a switchblade, waving it in front of him like a rabid animal. "You're dead," he shouted. Keanu tilted his head slightly. "Bad idea." Mace lunged and immediately regretted it. Keanu sidestepped, grabbing his arm mid-swing, and flipped him over onto a table, which splintered under the impact. The knife clattered away. The bar was silent again. Slim, now the last one standing, raised his hands. "Hey man, I don't even like these guys." Keanu looked around. Rig was unconscious, Mace groaning in a pile of wood. Tank holding his ribs and coughing. Slim, backing away. Someone near the jukebox whispered, "That's John Wick." The bartender's eyes widened. He looked again at the man standing calmly in the wreckage, his breath steady. His hands relaxed. "Jesus Christ," Jack said under his breath. "You're him." Keanu didn't respond. He simply pulled up his hoodie again and turned toward the exit. "You're not gonna call the cops?" Slim asked nervously. Keanu stopped in the doorway. "No," he said, without looking back, "but if you follow me, I'll consider it unfinished business." Slim sat down immediately, as Keanu stepped into the cool night air. The bartender came around the bar and surveyed the wreckage. Glass, splinters, and moaning bikers lay scattered across the room. He poured himself a shot and downed it in one. "Go, you idiots," he muttered. You picked a fight with John Wick, word spread fast. By morning, the story was already making rounds on local forums and social media. Keanu Reeves demolishes biker gang in bar fight. Some claimed it was a prank. Others thought it was a promotional stunt. But those who had been there, those who had seen it, knew better. The bikers disappeared from the bar scene after that night. Rig was seen a week later, arm in a cast, eyes haunted, walking with a limp and a 1,000-yard stare. Mace and Tank moved out of town. Slim took a job at a diner, turned religious. Keanu, meanwhile, vanished just as quietly as he arrived. No press, no interviews. Just a ghost, moving through the world, trying to find peace, and only finding echoes of the man he once had to become. The weeks that followed, the rusty Spur got a lot more business. People came from nearby towns hoping to glimpse a legend. They came with stories, theories, and questions. But Keanu never returned. He didn't need to. His message was clear. Some men wear masks for roles. Others become something else entirely. Keanu Reeves wasn't just a movie star that night. He was John Wick, and they didn't know until it was far too late.